Hello everyone, my name's Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll walk you through FDE roadmap or forward deployed engineer roadmap. I'll first introduce you to this concept. What exactly is FDE engineer? I'll take a real-time use case so that you can understand this concept better. And then I'll walk you through step-by-step roadmap. What is the step one, step two, and what all steps you need to learn. At every step, what concepts you need to learn so that you can become an FDE engineer. This is going to be a very insightful video. Just make sure you watch the video till the end. Let's get started. Okay, let's start with understanding what exactly is forward deployed engineer. Let's take a real-time use case. Let's say there is a startup in Hyderabad, maybe Hyderabad, India. There is a startup, and what this startup company has done, they have built an e-commerce platform. Maybe they are selling some merchandise online. Now, this company is doing well. In the world of AI, they thought, why not we add an AI assistant to the platform? So on the website, they want to add an AI assistant so that anyone who comes to the e-commerce platform, let's say they have some question, maybe about the shipping address, billing address, or they have some questions about the product, they can just go to the AI assistant and ask it the questions so that they can replace the traditional support team. Traditional support team might take a lot of time. AI assistant can instantly respond back to them. Now, this is a good idea. The startup wants to build this. Let's say they tried it, but they could not achieve it. Maybe they don't have required expertise. Whatever they have in their company is developers, DevOps engineers, SRE engineers, but they don't have someone who can build this AI assistant for them. Now, it's not only building the AI assistant, but this AI assistant should be included in their e-commerce platform and it should be shipped to production as well. Now, what this e-commerce platform or their management has done, because they don't have expertise, they started looking out for options. And this is when they figured out. Let's say there is a company called Microsoft. Microsoft has a solution which was previously called Azure AI Foundry. Now they are calling it as Microsoft Foundry. And what exactly this platform does, Microsoft realized very early in the AI game, companies like Microsoft, AWS, OpenAI, they realized very early in the game that, okay, we are going to launch multiple AI models, but end of the day, this should be used by the companies. And there will be a barrier. Companies might not be able to effectively use these AI models and build solutions on top of them. That's why what Microsoft has done, they launched a platform called Foundry. Now, Foundry is one-stop platform where anybody can come to the Foundry platform. They can build AI applications here. They can build AI agents or AI chatbots. In fact, they can deploy the AI agents right from Microsoft Foundry because it is integrated with Azure. On top of that, on the Foundry platform, you can also look at your AI observability, cost management, everything that a company needs. So what this startup company has done, okay, Microsoft already has something like this. So let me go to Microsoft and let me use their Foundry platform. In fact, last year, a lot of companies have tried this. But again, there is a problem. Even though Microsoft has created this platform, this is not a golden bullet. That means still it is not easy for companies to understand this Foundry platform. Just like how Microsoft created the Azure platform. On Azure, there are hundreds of services. It's not that companies can directly use this Azure platform. They need someone like DevOps engineer. They need someone like cloud engineer. They need Microsoft Azure support. Only then they can put their applications onto the Microsoft Azure platform. Similarly, Microsoft created Foundry platform, but still there is learning required so that companies like, okay, this e-commerce company to build their application, to build their AI assistant, to deploy that, to make it live in production, they need expertise on the Foundry platform. This is where now every company, like companies like Microsoft, they have introduced forward deployed engineers. You might have seen Microsoft announcement yesterday. They announced they are going to invest $2.5 billion on their new company called Microsoft Frontier Company, where they are going to hire 6,000 FDE engineers. This is the reason for it. Now, what is the responsibility of this FDE engineer? I'm sure you must have understood by now. The basic responsibility of this FDE engineer is going to be, so they will be experts on this Foundry platform. They are going to help these companies. So they will be deployed in the client location, or they will most likely interact with the clients. It can be through some meetings. It can be like, if possible, they will be deployed in the client location. End of the day, this FTE engineer will be responsible, will closely work with this customer to create AI assistant, to deploy the AI assistant on the Foundry platform, to use AI solutions on the Foundry platform, and get this AI assistant live in the production. On top of that, if required, they will continue to work with the client, maybe 1 year, 2 years, to ensure the AI assistant is stable. Until and unless the AI assistant is stable, FD engineer is going to work with this startup client, right? This is the responsibility of FD engineer. Now, when you look at textbook definition, you might get confused. That's why I tried to simplify this. Let me explain it one more time so that you will never forget what is FDA. Let's say there is a startup company, right? Somewhere in Hyderabad, there is a startup company. They have an e-commerce platform. They want to add AI assistant to their platform so that customers can come to the platform. They can ask some questions like, is this product really worthy? Or they can ask question, this product is out of stock. When can I expect the product to come live on the e-commerce platform? Now this AI assistant should respond back. It will have internal knowledge base, right? It will have everything that is required. According to that, it will respond back to the users. Now this is cool idea. Every company wants to do it in today's world. But what companies lack is the solid expertise. Building hobby projects is different. Building a real-time production ready AI solution is different. So what companies like this do? So they look out for solutions on internet. Some companies, they know that there are solutions like Foundry. They might be successful as well. Let's say they have some engineers who are able to understand Foundry, who are able to create AI assistants, deploy that to production. But still there will be a lot of companies who will not be able to use this Foundry platform on their own. They need some help from Microsoft. This is where FD engineers come into picture. Microsoft is going to hire a lot of FD engineers and they are going to deploy this FD engineers on the client location. So this startup company is now a client for Microsoft or a customer for Microsoft. Maybe that's a better way to put it. Now FD engineer might be deployed to the client location or might be working online, but works very closely with this team and helps them set up this AI assistant, helps them deploy this AI assistant, helps them build RAG solution for it, helps them build maybe required MCP setup for it, and finally identifies the right model and deploys the AI assistant using the Foundry platform to production. And maybe for next 1 to 2 years, they will be helping the startup company in observability, that is the AI observability, in cost optimization, ensuring this AI assistant is not going to cost a lot for the company, and ensuring this AI assistant is robust and stable. This is what FD is all about, right? Now, this can be AI assistant, this can be AI agent, or this can be any agentic AI solution. That doesn't matter. Anything to deal with AI. Perfect. Now this is clear. Now you understood what exactly is FD engineer. Now let's go to the next step and try to understand what is the detailed roadmap for this. First and the most important thing, Python. Abhishek, why Python? Let's say you joined as an FD engineer. You are working with your customers. You are going to work on AI solutions for them. Most of the AI solutions today are written in Python. Maybe they started their work. They have written a simple AI assistant in LangChain, LangGraph. You need to assist them. So what you need to learn is fundamentals of Python. You don't have to be an expert. Just understand Python concepts like data types. What are the different data types? Way to use the data types, how to use them. Then you need to learn about functions so that you can run and write reusable code in Python. Then fundamentals like loops, object-oriented programming, exceptional handling, virtual environment, and most importantly, dependency management in Python. So that you will ensure multiple dependencies are installed and dependencies do not conflict each other. This is what you need to learn in Python to get started with. Then in your step 2, once you learn these fundamentals, end of the day, when you want to test your application or even when you want to deploy it in your lower environments, you need to expose the application as APIs. Or even for AI inference, you need to expose AI so that end users can use your application. AI app, AI agent. How do you do that? The best framework is FastAPI. So you need to learn FastAPI. Again, simple things like how to write CRUD operations. Most likely you will be using REST. So learn about REST APIs, learn about how to use and write CRUD operations, create, read, update, and delete. And because we are talking about enterprise applications, you need to learn about authentication and authorization, how to set up authentication and authorization using Fast API, and basic things like error handling, dependency management, and security. So this is what you need to learn when it comes to Fast API. Step 1, learn Python so that if you have to help your customers with LangChain, if you have to help your customers with LangGraph, you will have the basics. Then step 2, you have to expose this AI application outside or at least to your users. So you need framework like Fast API, learn fundamentals like REST API, CRUD operations, authentication and authorization, error handling, and security. Then the next thing that you have to learn is database management, but again, you can learn the basics of Postgres. Why Postgres? Open source, free. Many people in the world use Postgres. So you can get started with Postgres. If you don't have access to Postgres for some reason, you can go with alternatives of Postgres, something like Supabase or any other alternative. Learn SQL basics, right? The fundamentals of SQL, select, insert, update, delete, joins, indexes. That's it. You don't have to learn how to write prepared statements in SQL. You don't have to go to that extent. Then comes the most popular thing. A lot of you are already familiar with this, Docker. You will not directly ship your AI agent to production. First of all, you might want to test it. You might want to share it along with other team members in your organization. So you need Docker images, which is the best thing to ensure something works on your machine and works on others' machine as well, right? So you need to learn about fundamentals of Docker, things like how to write a Docker file, how to create a Docker image, how to publish the Docker image, how to pull, how to push, the basics of Docker. You don't have to learn about Docker volumes, advanced Docker networking, but you need to learn about Docker Compose as well, because you might be dealing with multiple Docker images, one for your agent, one for your SQL, maybe SQLite locally. So Docker fundamentals is your step 4. Then fifth one, cloud basics. Again, something relevant to DevOps engineers or cloud engineers, basics of cloud. Now, you might be using platforms like Microsoft Foundry, but end of the day, they're very closely connected to cloud services. If you're using AWS solution, it is very closely connected to AWS cloud services, right? So you need to learn the basic cloud services, the top 15 cloud services, which typically every DevOps and cloud engineer learns. For example, the compute services, the storage services, the serverless services, right? The container services. These are the ones that you need to learn. Depending upon the cloud platform, you can figure out what are them. For example, if you're talking about Azure, you need to learn about Azure virtual machines, Azure VNet, concepts like subnet in Azure, concepts like basic load balancer, API gateway, storage services like Azure Blob. container solutions like serverless solutions like Azure functions. These are the things that you need to learn. Perfect. So you will start with Python, then you will learn about FastAPI, then the SQL things. You can go with Postgres. Very easy to get started with, free and open source. Then you will learn about Docker so that you can run these AI solutions locally. Then you will move to cloud fundamentals, which is going to be your step 5. And then once you are done with all of these concepts, till this point, you will be sure about your AI assistant because you've already written it, you've already tested it with your company data, right? You have tested it with Docker locally. Now it's time to put it on the Microsoft solution or AWS solution. This is where you will learn concepts like Microsoft Foundry. Previously, this is known as Azure AI Foundry, but now it is called as Microsoft Foundry. The only reason why I'm taking example of Microsoft, recently it became very popular because it started Microsoft Frontier company. That's why I'm taking that example, right? So you have to learn about Foundry. Best thing, I have a 10 minutes video on Foundry where I walk you through different concepts of Foundry, how to use them, how to build your AI agent in 10 minutes in Foundry. I would recommend you to go through that video. Very simple one, easy to get started. In 30 minutes, you can also practice the video, right? So detailed walkthrough of platforms like Foundry. Now it depends. If you are going as a FD engineer in Microsoft, you will learn about it. If you are going as FD engineer in AWS, you will learn their solution. If you're going as FD engineer in OpenAI, you will go through their solution. Abhishek, is it done? Not yet. There are still important concepts like RAG. End of the day, your AI assistant that you're going to build or AI agent that you're going to build for the customers, it has to work with their data, right? It has to work with their internal data. Okay, when you know Foundry, you will learn about which is the best model, how to deploy the model, how to observe the model. But how do you ensure the AI agent works with the internal data? If you're talking about the e-commerce company, the previous example that I've taken, they will have their own products, they will have their internal knowledge base. AI assistant should reply according to their internal database, knowledge base. This is exactly where RAG comes into picture. So as FD engineer, you should be good with RAG. You should understand what is the concept of embeddings. You should know how to use vector databases, how to build the basic RAG solutions, like the basic retrieval pipelines. You have to take care of all of these things. So you have to be good at these things. Perfect. Now we are almost done, but there is one last thing. If you want to become FD engineer, okay, till now everything is good, but you have to show these concepts in your resume, right? If you want to become FD engineer, you have to tell these companies that you are good at it. How do you do that? Build real-time projects. This is the most important thing. Build real-time projects on Microsoft Foundry and probably upload it to your LinkedIn, share it on your resume, add it to your resume, share it on GitHub. Create 3 to 4 projects and you will be good with it. In fact, FD role is not at all difficult. You just have to follow this 8-step roadmap. In the 8 step, build some solid 2 to 3 projects, share it on your socials like LinkedIn and GitHub, and you can start applying for these roles. The best thing, nobody is an FD engineer before. This is a completely new role, right? This is the best opportunity. Let's say you want to get into an existing roles, they might ask you for experience. But when you apply for FDE jobs, they cannot ask you for experience because everyone is relatively new for this. So that's why you can show your experience by building some projects and you can tell these companies that I can become an FD engineer. Previously, I'm a DevOps engineer, I'm a cloud engineer, or I'm a developer, but I'm good with this. You can even justify. Previously, I was working as DevOps or cloud engineer. I have worked extensively with Azure. I helped my company understand Azure services. Now I can do the same thing with Microsoft Foundry. Perfect. So this is the detailed roadmap. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section. One final thing, right? One final time. Start with Python, learn the basics of Python. Then you need to know things like FastAPI, Postgres, so that you can use the organizational data, Docker, so that you can run your AI assistant or AI agent locally, cloud basics. End of the day, Foundry is connected to Microsoft Azure. AWS Bedrock is connected to AWS services, right? So you need to know the fundamentals of cloud. Then solutions like Microsoft Foundry, RAG, very, very important, and build some projects. That's it. And yeah, if you have worked with customers previously, your customer support experience, your SRE experience can also definitely help. Cool. So I hope you found today's video insightful. If you have any questions, again, let me know in the comment section. Happy to help you. See you all in the next video. Take care.